fellow word nerds and fans of the hilariously inappropriate.
Oh, yeah.
You've tuned in for a deep dive into Poetry for Neanderthals.
Yeah.
NSFW edition.
Okay.
Get ready to laugh.
Yeah.
Because today, we're diving into a game that's all about saying bad words.
All right.
And maybe getting hit with a stick if you don't.
What's so fascinating about this is it takes the simplicity of single-syllable words and throws in a healthy dose of adult humor.
Yeah.
You got a spank stick involved.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like they designed this game for the Geico Caveman.
Oh, I can totally see those guys huddled around a fire.
Yeah.
Grunting out single-syllable synonyms for banana hammocks.
Well, maybe not that term.
Right.
But the game definitely taps into that primal caveman-esque humor that we all have.
Yeah.
It's like taking a time machine back to a simpler era.
Okay.
Where communication was basic, but the laughs were just as big.
Okay, before we get too deep into the prehistoric puns, let's break down how this gloriously immature game actually works.
Yeah.
What are the rules?
Okay.
How do you play?
All right.
And most importantly, how do you avoid getting spanked?
So the premise is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You got two teams going head-to-head in a battle of word-guessing supremacy. Each round is a rapid-fire 90 seconds.
Okay.
And one player on each team becomes the designated Neanderthal poet.
Oh.
Their job is to get their teammates to guess a word or phrase.
Okay.
But here's the catch.
What?
They can only use single-syllable words.
And let me tell you, some of these phrases are about as far from single syllable as you can get.
Really?
We're talking about terms like Mile High Club,
Wow.
nudist colony.
Okay.
You know, the kind of stuff your grandma probably pretends she doesn't understand.
Exactly. And that's where the challenge and the hilarity comes in. Trying to describe those concepts using such limited vocabulary. Yeah. It's a recipe for some serious comedic gold.
Oh, and did I mention the spank stick?
Ah, yes, the infamous spank stick.
It's a 2-foot-long, inflatable instrument of gentle correction.
That's right.
If the poet accidentally lets a multi-syllable word slip out, bam!
Oh, no.
They get a playful bop from the opposing team.
Oh.
It's like a combination of intellectual dodgeball and vocabulary boot camp.
Oh, wow.
You've got the pressure of the clock ticking, the threat of the spank stick looming, and then you got to come up with the most ridiculous single-syllable synonyms for words that would make a sailor blush.
Wow.
It's pure chaos, and it's absolutely hilarious.
It really pushes you to think outside the box, or I should say inside the single-syllable box.
So we've established that the game is funny.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper.
Okay.
What is it about this ridiculous combination of simple words and taboo topics that makes us laugh?
Well, I think it has to do with the contrast.
Okay.
You've got these sophisticated, sometimes even scandalous concepts being reduced to their most basic, primal forms. It's like trying to explain quantum physics.
Oh, wow.
Using only grunts and hand gestures.
It's almost like watching Shakespeare get rewritten by a toddler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that mismatch, that unexpected juxtaposition is inherently funny.
Oh.
It's like our brains are doing a double take, trying to reconcile the complexity of the idea with the simplicity of the language.
Plus, let's be honest.
Okay.
There's something inherently funny about taboo topics.
Right.
The things we're not supposed to talk about. And when you combine that with the forced simplicity of single-syllable words, it creates this wonderfully absurd and hilarious tension.
It's like we're giving ourselves permission to be a little naughty.
Okay.
To laugh at things that might normally make us uncomfortable. And by doing so in the safe, playful environment, we kind of diffuse their power and turn them into sources of amusement.
Okay, so we've got the contrast, we've got the taboo factor.
Okay.
But there's also the physical comedy element.
Right.
Let's be real, seeing someone get playfully whacked with a giant inflatable spank stick is just plain funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That visual humor adds another layer of absurdity to the whole experience. It's like something straight out of a cartoon, and it just amplifies the laughter.
So we've got the wordplay, the taboo topics, the threat of inflatable violence. This game sounds like it was designed in a laboratory.
Wow.
dedicated to manufacturing laughter.
Well, the creators of Poetry for Neanderthals are the same brilliant minds behind Exploding Kittens.
Wow.
So they clearly have a knack for tapping into our collective sense of humor, the kind that makes you snort with laughter and then immediately question your maturity level.
Hey, we're not here to judge.
That's right.
We're here to embrace the absurdity of it all.
Okay.
So let's dive even deeper, shall we?
All right.
I'm dying to unpack some specific examples of just how ridiculous this game can get.
Okay, let's do it. All right, buckle up because we're about to venture into the wild world of NSFW single-syllable synonyms.
Okay.
And trust me, things are about to get weird.
Hit me with your best shot.
Okay.
I'm ready to have my mind blown and my sides split from laughter.
Okay, let's start with a term that's both adorable and a little bit icky. Cuddle puddle.
Ew.
One YouTuber described it as hug, stay close, warm, nap, bed, wet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also kind of sweet.
Right.
Like imagine a couple of Neanderthals snuggling up in their little post-coital puddle of sweat. I don't even want to think about it.
Exactly. It's that unexpected combination of innocence and innuendo that makes it so funny.
Yeah.
You got the wholesomeness of cuddling and then bam, you're hit with the reality of what created that cuddle puddle in the first place.
And the single-syllable words just add to the absurdity.
Right.
It's like they're trying to sanitize something that is inherently not sanitizable.
Right. It's like trying to explain the birds and the bees using only words a toddler would understand.
Yeah.
It's just inherently funny.
Okay. So cuddle puddle is interesting. What else have you got?
All right, how about this one?
Yep.
Dingle balls. Another player described it as hang low, man bits, swing when walk.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm never going to be able to look at a Christmas tree the same way again.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how these simple words can conjure up such vivid and hilarious imagery.
But you know what's really impressive is the creativity of the players.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming up with these ridiculously clever ways to describe these NSFW terms using only the most basic language.
Yeah.
It's like they're unlocking some hidden poetic talent they never knew they had.
Absolutely. And a testament to the power of limitations. Sometimes having constraints can actually spark incredible ingenuity. This game forces you to think outside the box.
Right.
And the results are often hilarious, surprising, and sometimes even a little bit brilliant.
It's like they say.
Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
And in this case, comedic invention.
Well said. And speaking of invention, who do you think would enjoy this game the most?
Oh, totally.
It's obviously got a very specific adult-oriented theme.
Right.
But I think the core gameplay could appeal to a wider audience.
I mean, you could easily tone down the naughtiness factor and still have a blast with the single-syllable challenge.
Yeah.
It would be a great party game for families, groups of friends, even office gatherings. Imagine the holiday party shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fantastic way to break the ice, let loose, and bond over some shared laughter.
Right. It's a game that encourages vulnerability, quick thinking, and a healthy dose of self-deprecation.
Yeah.
After all, we've all been there stumbling over our words, trying to explain something embarrassing.
Right.
This game just embraces that awkwardness and turns it into a source of shared amusement.
And you know what else I love about this game?
What's that?
It's a celebration of language.
Oh, okay.
It reminds us that even the simplest words can be powerful, evocative, and yes, even hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like we're tapping into the raw, primal essence of communication, the grunts and gestures of our caveman ancestors, and finding the humor in it.
That's such a great point. It's a reminder that language is a tool that can be used for so much more than just conveying information.
Right.
It can be used to connect with others, to make them laugh, to make them think, and in the case of Poetry for Neanderthals, maybe even make them blush a little.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the educational value here.
Oh, that's right.
You might just expand your vocabulary while trying to come up with single-syllable synonyms for moist towelette.
Indeed. It's a win-win situation. You get to laugh, you get to learn, and you get to unleash your inner Neanderthal poet. What's not to love?
Okay, so we've covered the gameplay, the humor, the target audience.
Yeah.
But there's one big question we haven't tackled yet. The question that's on everyone's mind.
What's that?
Is this game actually fun?
Well, based on the reviews we've read and the gameplay videos we've seen, the answer is a resounding yes.
Okay.
People seem to genuinely enjoy the challenge, the laughter, and the sheer absurdity of it all.
I mean, how could you not have fun with the game that involves shouting out single-syllable words and getting spanked with an inflatable stick?
Right.
It's like a childhood dream come true, except with more adult content.
Right.
It taps into our primal instincts for playfulness, competition.
Right.
And, well, maybe a little bit of exhibitionism.
Hey,
there's nothing wrong with a little harmless exhibitionism.
It's true.
Especially when it comes with a side of laughter.
Exactly. And you know what else is fascinating?
Right.
The game seems to have this unique ability to bring people together.
Oh, okay.
It transcends age, background, and even language barriers.
Well.
After all, everyone can understand the concept of bad word and funny stick.
It's true. It's a universal language of laughter and silliness.
And in a world that often feels increasingly divided, that's a pretty powerful thing.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'm officially adding Poetry for Neanderthals, NSFW edition, to my next party game night.
Good.
But before I run out and buy a spank stick, I have one more question for you.
Shoot.
We've talked a lot about how this game makes us laugh. But is there something inherently funny about single-syllable words?
Okay.
Or is it just the juxtaposition with our modern sensibilities?
Yeah.
Like, would actual Neanderthals have found this game hilarious?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the heart of what makes this game so intriguing. It's tough to say for sure whether actual Neanderthals would have been rolling on the floor laughing.
Right.
But I think there's something inherently funny about the simplicity of single-syllable words.
Okay.
Especially when applied to taboo topics.
So you're saying it's like we're devolving our language back to its most primal form.
Yeah.
Stripping away all the nuance and sophistication and getting right to the raw, unfiltered essence of the idea.
Exactly. And there's a certain comedic charm to that regression.
Oh.
It's like we're giving ourselves permission to be childish, to laugh at the things we're not supposed to laugh at.
Maybe that's why this game is so popular.
Right.
It gives us a safe space to embrace our inner Neanderthal.
Yeah.
To let loose and just have fun with language.
Yeah.
Without worrying about being too clever or sophisticated.
I think you're onto something there.
Okay.
It's like a pressure valve release. A way to acknowledge and laugh at the things that make us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or embarrassed. And by doing so in this safe and playful environment, we diffuse their power and turn them into sources of amusement.
So what does this all mean for us modern-day humans?
Well,
are we destined to forever be drawn to the comedic power of single-syllable words?
Well, I think it's more than just the words themselves. It's the context, the unexpected juxtaposition, the shared understanding that we're all in on the joke.
Yeah.
And as long as we have that shared understanding, I think the laughter will continue to flow regardless of how many syllables we use.
Well said. Okay, listeners, we've given you the lowdown on Poetry for Neanderthals, NSFW edition, the gameplay, the humor, the potential for awkward family gatherings. Now it's your turn.
That's right.
What single-syllable words would you use to describe, let's say, Netflix and chill?
Ooh, good one.
Get creative, people.
Yeah.
Share your answers on social media. We'd love to see what you come up with.
And here's a final thought-provoking question to ponder as you brainstorm your single-syllable masterpieces.
Okay.
Is there something about the evolution of language that makes us more susceptible to finding humor in the taboo?
Yeah.
Or is it a human constant that's been with us since the dawn of communication?
Ooh, that's a good one. Food for thought as you're trying to explain fuzzy handcuffs using only grunts and whistles. Either way, I think it's safe to say that Poetry for Neanderthals, NSFW edition, is a testament to the enduring power of laughter, the beauty of simplicity, and the joy of embracing our inner caveman. So go forth, my friends, and spread the single-syllable cheer.
And now for a non-sponsored, totally fake advertisement from this episode's non-sponsors.
Okay, folks. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
You know those Geico Caveman commercials?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
They were everywhere.
They really were. I mean, you couldn't escape those commercials for like what felt like a decade.
Exactly. And you know what? They were actually pretty clever.
Yeah, for sure.
Like flipping the script on the whole dumb caveman thing.
Right. Like Geico was so easy, even a caveman could use it, you know?
Exactly. And it worked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they ran those commercials forever.
But today we're going to focus on one specific commercial.
Okay.
It's called The Apology.
All right.
I think you'll see why we picked this one.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So picture this. You've got two cavemen.
Okay.
They're all dressed up.
Uh-huh.
And they're huddled over a computer in some swanky office.
Okay, so already we've got some humor here, right?
Yeah. The juxtaposition is hilarious. I mean, cavemen using the internet.
Right. It's like, are they checking their stock portfolio?
Or maybe they're writing a blog post about the paleo diet.
Exactly. It's just inherently funny.
But here's where it gets even better.
All right, I'm hooked.
So these cavemen, they're on the internet and they're making a public apology.
An apology?
Yeah, you heard that right.
Okay, I'm even more intrigued now. Who are they apologizing to?
Well, get this. They're apologizing to us, to modern humans.
Humans?
Yeah, for thinking we were extinct.
Wait, they thought humans went extinct. That's hilarious.
Right. Like, seriously, these cavemen, they've been living under a rock for millennia.
I mean, literally.
And they're just now realizing that humans are still around.
Oh, man, that's golden.
I know. And the way they delivered the apology is just perfect.
Okay, how do they say it?
The caveman looks right into the camera with this completely straight face and says, "Seriously, we apologize. We had no idea you guys were still around."
No way. That's amazing.
I know. It's like they're genuinely remorseful.
Like they've committed some huge social faux pas.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so funny. The sincerity of it all.
Right. It's not like they're winking at the audience or anything.
Nope. They're playing it totally straight.
And that just makes it funnier.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what happens next?
Well, the commercial cuts to a restaurant scene.
Okay.
And we see the same caveman sitting at a table.
Uh-huh.
But now he's looking all dejected.
Oh, no. What's wrong?
Well, he says, "I don't have much of an appetite."
Aw, poor guy. I kind of feel bad for him.
Me too. It's like he's genuinely bummed out that he offended all of humanity.
Right, like he just wants to go back to his cave and eat some grubs in peace.
Exactly. But now he's got this existential crisis on his hands.
I mean, who hasn't been there, right? You accidentally insult someone and then you just want the earth to swallow you whole.
Totally. It's a universal experience.
Even if you're a caveman.
Exactly. And that's what makes this commercial so relatable.
Yeah, it's funny because it's true.
Exactly. We've all felt that awkwardness, that feeling of wanting to disappear after putting our foot in our mouth.
For sure. So what's the takeaway here?
Well, I think it's that humor can come from the most unexpected places.
Like a heartfelt apology from a caveman?
Exactly. It's a reminder that sometimes the silliest things are also the funniest.
I agree.
You know, thinking about this commercial, it reminds me of that game we talked about before, Poetry for Neanderthals.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Imagine trying to explain this whole scenario using only one-syllable words.
That would be a challenge.
It'd be hilarious, though.
Definitely.
And you know, it might actually help us appreciate the humor of the commercial even more.
How so?
Well, by breaking it down to its simplest form, we can really see how the absurdity of the situation drives the comedy.
That's a good point.
So the next time you see a funny commercial, or any kind of comedy for that matter, try doing the Poetry for Neanderthals thing.
I like it.
Break it down to the basics and see if you can uncover the underlying humor.
It's like a fun little thought experiment.
Exactly. And you might be surprised at what you discover.
I'll have to give that a try.
I think you'll find it illuminating.
Awesome.
All right, well, that's our deep dive for today, folks.
Until next time,
Stay curious.
and keep laughing.
We'll see you on the flip side.
Sounds good.